Hi there, Gemini. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for October. And it begins in spectacular style with a new moon on the very first day in the most self-expressive and joyful part of your scope. But it's very closely allied, this new moon, to Jupiter, the planet of growth, which moved last month into the most outgoing part of your scope, where he's going to be with you for pretty well much of the next year. This combination can give you tremendous zest as you burst into this new month. But Jupiter is squaring up to Mars, the planet of passion, in the first 2 weeks of this month. And your desire to go for it when it comes to the fun things in life, the things that are enjoyable and entertaining, well, there's going to be a part of you that feels really quite compelled to go out and engage, get stuck in. If you're footloose and fancy free, I do feel if it's in your nature to be in a relationship, that being pulled towards someone with quite a magnetic personality is very possible this month. Now, whether this person would turn out to be a long-term player in your world is a completely different matter. What's true, however, is that with Mars making its way through Capricorn for the whole month and combining, first of all with Jupiter, then with Pluto, and then in a square with Uranus in the last week of this month, this is going to be a month which is really going to rock and roll. But that could mean that at times you're driven by desires that go somewhat against the grain of the more logical side of your nature. Now, in the first week of this month, your ruler Mercury does continue in quite a timid, inward-looking part of your scope, where you're just untangling some of the emotional family issues that were so prevalent in September, partly because of Mercury's retrograde through the sign of Virgo. But it emerges into this playful area on the 7th, and your sense of humour is going to catch fire again then too. But I just feel that you could just have a tremendous desire to connect or demonstrate just how talented you are, but you may want to see some kind of evidence of how talented you are, and that can see you driving towards your targets, particularly in terms of long-term finances, property matters, or it could be unfolding more at a more personal or even sensual level around your closest relationships. Now, Venus, the planet of love and relating, moves into a superb part of your situation on the 18th. So the second half of this month can be informed by the diplomacy and harmony that Venus can bring in that particular location. But 2 days before, on the 16th, there is a full moon. And this full moon is going to be angling to Uranus in a very tight alliance, and Uranus is the planet of surprises. Now, the surprise for you, I feel, could be the attraction that you find yourself experiencing for someone who's already in your circle. Now, up until now, this could be a person who may have just been a really nice friend, and suddenly you can find that there's a real excitement and a rising of your heartbeat when you're in their vicinity. Or it's possible that in a long-term romantic situation, if you feel hemmed in and your partner is a bit possessive and jealous of you, then the side of you that wants to assert your need to do your own thing is going to become much stronger from the middle of this month. But if that is the case, do use the diplomacy of Venus in Sagittarius on the 18th to try to keep the lines of communication open as best you can. In week 3, with Mars alongside Pluto, your desire, I think, features very much about something that's deep within your persona. I can't tell you what this is because everybody is very different. But whatever really turns you on, that's going to be really sparked in an amazingly potent way across that week. And then in the last week, with Uranus angling to Mars, something unpredictable can happen. And if there is a group of people that you hang out with that you've been pretty dedicated to up until now, if there are any undercurrents or politics flowing around, you might find yourself really getting turned off by this and wanting to escape and do your own thing a lot more. The turning point, I feel, can come on the 22nd and the 24th, when both the Sun and Mercury switch. Mercury makes a very quick transit this month, and they both switch into the most practical part of your horoscope. And you can start to see things in quite fine detail about what you might need to change in your situation. You can be less caught up in the desire of things and needing to fulfill your needs, and a little bit more grounded and sensible. Perhaps if you have got into some kind of rumbustious, sensual embrace of someone earlier in the month, you'll start to see them a little bit more for who they are, but not necessarily in a negative way, just a bit more realistically. But the last 10 days of this month can be a good time to think more about diet, about health, about fitness, and even about the structure of your finances, because the passion that's being aroused needs to be deployed in a way which can be lasting. And I think the precision of both the Sun and Mercury going through your 6th solar house in the last part of this month is certainly going to be good for that. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Gemini, and good luck and goodbye for now.